Welcome back. We're here to preview Tuesday night's game in the Premier League between Liverpool and Spurs. Matt, we'll start with Spurs. Obviously, they had the North London derby on Saturday lunchtime, and they beat Arsenal in a fantastic performance again from Harry Kane.
He's getting all the headlines, isn't he? He's done it this season. I think when they went to Arsenal earlier in the season, he wasn't even in the squad, and Soldado and Adebayor have they've got games in the team, and he's come in and just never looked back as he was doing well in the Europa League, and then he got thrown into the league. And I mean, Arsenal in that particular game of the week, and Arsenal took the lead, and they were Ozil, and you never really. Arsenal were okay, but they weren't really doing much, were they? And Spurs were always pushing forward. People like Ryan Mason in midfield had a great game. Obviously, Kane scored both goals. He'll get the headlines, and it's so important for the fans because they've had to watch Arsenal finish above them in Champions League football for so long now, and obviously there's obviously great rivalry between the two teams, and the fact that they managed to get that win, and it's convincing as well. Wasn't the smash and grab? Arsenal didn't have too many chances apart from taking the lead, and there was no real complaints from Wenger after the game, and obviously everyone's talking about Kane, England call up or whatever, and he's in such good form, and Spurs are into this game, massive confidence.
Definitely, and obviously a big win at home like that is so pleasing for the supporters as well, because they had some disappointing results at the start of the season at home. I think Stoke went there and won, West Brom went there and won, but a performance like that against, and it was such a big game in the top four race as well, wasn't it? Arsenal above them in the table with Spurs. With that win, they go above Arsenal by 1 point in the table. They're now only 1 point off the top four, 43 points. Manchester United there on 44, and Southampton in third on 45. So, depending on how the results go in midweek, Spurs could be up to third in the table, which just shows how good they've been recently in the league. They've been doing so well in the league recently, and it was a massive game in the top four race, and there's no reason now to think, with Kane playing the way he is, I think is it 23 goals for the season now, or something like that in all competitions. He's just doing fantastically. There's no reason to think why Spurs couldn't sneak into the top four, because Southampton, Man U, Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool, those sort of five clubs are fighting for two spots, and it's hard to say at the moment which two will get it because it's so close in there.
So Spurs are in such good form, and you look at their top four rivals, got some tough games, got some winnable games coming up. Play West Ham, obviously difficult, but then play Swansea, QPR, and you look at these games. Obviously, this is a tough game at Anfield, but there's no reason why they should be daunted by that. The recent form's been amazing, and won 6 times on the road this season. Done well. I think their away form's been pretty good over the last couple of seasons. Like you say, this season at home they've struggled, haven't they? I think Newcastle won there as well early in the season, and that's disappointing. But go to Anfield, Liverpool in good form, but there's no reason why Spurs are fancy getting something out of the game.
Definitely, you mentioned Liverpool being in good form. They're now 8 unbeaten in the league, but they'll be disappointed with the Merseyside derby. Obviously, it was a big day of derbies. Spurs playing Arsenal, Everton playing Liverpool on Saturday, but it was a 0-0 draw, and it was a real letdown of a game. I was really looking forward to it. The evening kick-off at Goodison, I thought it would be. There was a great atmosphere there, but the game didn't really help the crowd. If the game had been all action, it would have been such a good atmosphere at Goodison, but it's such a letdown of a game. Very few chances for either side. Obviously, Jordan Ibe came into the starting lineup. It was his first Premier League start of the season, just his second Premier League start ever. Obviously, he'd been on loan at Derby County in the Championship. Been very impressed with him there, and it didn't surprise me that Liverpool recalled him because he is too good for the Championship, and I think he is a Premier League quality player, even though he's only 19 years old. And obviously came in. There was that one shot he had which cracked off the post. It was a fantastic shot. It looked like it was arrowing all the way in, but just came back off the post. But that was as close as either side came. Really, very few chances here or there. I think Liverpool, in the end, they'll probably say, Gerrard said in his post-match interview, obviously probably his last Merseyside derby, unless they draw each other in the Europa League. He sort of said, probably take a point there. We can't have too many complaints, but I think they'll be disappointed at how few chances they created.
You mentioned Ibe smashing the post. I mean, he had a really good game, didn't he, on that right side, and wondering whether he'll keep his place for this. Brendan Rodgers will be thinking, I've got to keep him in the team. People like Sterling, but obviously Sturridge is the main talking point. Is he going to come in for his first start since picking up that obviously injury? He's been a couple of bench appearances, and he got off the score sheet in the Premier League against West Ham. And you're thinking he's probably going to come in for this game, isn't it? It's an evening game. It's going to be fast-paced. And obviously Liverpool last season, where they were so successful, was the pace of Sturridge and Sterling. I think that would allow Sterling to move out wide as well, because I'm never too sure about him through the middle. He's finishing. He hits some good finishes, but he does miss a lot of chances as well. Then when he gets in, he's not too composed. And obviously their next couple of games, Southampton and City, Liverpool, so they play this. And while they have been in good form, like you mentioned, if they get beat here, Southampton, City, tough games, they could easily find themselves out of it, before, because obviously they've got catch-up to play. I think they're 5 points off the top four at the moment, and don't get me wrong, they're still in the race, but that could easily become sort of 7, 8, 9, 10, and then they're going to be struggling.
Definitely. Liverpool here, they start 4 points behind Spurs, and they'll see this, like you say, as a must-win game, because if they do win it, then they're only 1 point behind Spurs, and really in the thick of the top four race. So what's your score prediction?
Both teams are in really good form, isn't it? It's tough. Liverpool probably will enter as just favourites, certainly with the bookmakers, because they're at home, but I think it'll be a draw. I'm going to go 2-2.
Yeah, I actually completely agree. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw as well. So both going Desmond at Anfield, 2-2. Thanks for watching.